정말로 님들의 welcome to the afternoon section. So this will be the, I think, afternoon section, and it will be the women's section. So we have here two women speakers from the TPI who study the Chinese policy and environment impacts, and also the Chinese policy on the reincarnation issue in Tibet. So I'm a Dr. Doma. I did my PhD on philosophy and religion in Indian, and today it's a real privilege to great speakers on this stage. So we have each speaker have 20 minutes for their speak, and I will be the last 3 minutes before your conclude. So the first speak we have Pendola from the Tibetan Policy Institution, and she did her master and in BA study and major studies in China, and coming in India and doing her major works in the Chinese language. And right now she is in our Tibetan Policy Institution, and especially she writes more than 20 articles in international and national articles she published so far. So I would like to first let Pendola to speak for her topic, which is about the historiography of Tibet, and right now the Tibetan is under the CCP occupation, so she will talk about that. So please.
nama tsangwa chiru dili tini di gondro tsama jami chilo ni pijo yin ta tini ge di geje di jaga ni xie xia ge da ko ba sing chi di ne ge di ju xi di pyo ge lu du ki ka ne ba zui ba pyo di zhen wang wa ge ge ji le那郭素霞，那我今天就用华文讲，然后我今天的主题是为西藏的历史正位，然后西藏是被占领的国家。那我们这次的会议的主题也是寻找共同点，在新的国际的形势下，我们的应对。那当前的国际形势是非常复杂。美国为主的西方国家与中国为主的独裁国家之间，它从意识形态到战略。经济各个领域它有对峙，那我觉得最为重要的一点是中国它已经真的过了红利期，它已经经济走上了衰退，那这事实也是不能避免的。那而且中国它的国家的运作它是缺乏契约精神，然后它是不守信，它的各种的战略的扩张，它对人权的践踏，对各国的渗透，就是让民主国家就是有危机感，就是对这种很反感。那这2年就是不断有媒体报道说，各国对中国的制裁，然后有中国的情报人员或者特务在各国被抓捕的这种就是新闻，然后对中国的强硬是这种形势变化是我觉得可以，我们是实实在在的能够去感受。
OK， 你别紧张。对，俺就从头的他们一天出来当都是从头起来，他都那当欧了，家境农就忙不清楚的个当忙做小卡当家那做不给生活给这小卡，但是大主对面变就他就参嘛从大卡的家的，但是那当恰的嘞，但是老板的家那他等下人开始忙不要的话，第都是的做呢，他变就伢的，但是他等我那是恰，马车忙把用多他没把没图的忙着呀，印把印度。되네 간지 차그래서 저당 자나 고조 때는 리숑 도소토네 고지 가르서 괜자 그 따주지와 나지야 당 괜자 자야다 괜자 자야 괜자 송고야 등 따주도 요 말해 그 가디노 시아바데 되는 만네 왔다 되네 때 자치 땅야 땅 로아미 토도 도로 땅야 에 자카 임바 간 순지지야 도서 참마토네 만주 자카 마가 왔다 되네 년카치 통 도서 제네 다다데 아리 당 데미 사전 가사간 야나그 디송아 zonare se sanji doas te yung ngaso seo ton toyala joa chembo jin ro de yo ba seo ton doas
那在这样的国际的新的形势下，那我觉得今年对西藏来说一个 非常有象征意义的，就是美国签署了这个促进解决西藏与中国的争端法案。那它是否定了中国所谓的自古以来西藏属于中国的它的这个说辞，就是强调西藏的历史是未定的。那而且这个法案里面说西藏不只是所谓的西藏自治区，还有我们所谓的就是3区在一起的抗安多地方。而且我觉得这样一个象征的意义，就把中国它一言堂的局面，它肆意去曲解西藏的历史的这种时代已经过去了。那我觉得就是我们西藏在历史上主权独立的这个真相，它这个已经要浮出台面。
근데 다다 자진 내단 등주 올라 가서 배발 배 미세게 진세 demba 된다지 가르스는 아르기 다듬 치존이라 배고 주셔 야바 데레스 조주도 놀 자나 용기 배드 나가면 배 자나 자신 인세 되었다 멤버 몰리 마체와라 로지툴 세워 메바 당 드놀더니 배 세야 됐더니 자나 용 세되어 배랑존이 집어 멤버 배 초가선 사마 추디요 봐 도서 디 세워 셰어 스틱톤데 자나 용 배골 그런 거는 가른 듯이 자자 든지 장지 멤버 로지 초시 지어도서 멤버 토니 배드 로지 톨라 랑생 자카지 임바테 하중 세워 간 버튼이레스
美国的这个法案这样被签署后，就是中国他的回应说炒作大藏区，然后还有再次强调了西藏自古以来属于中国。那这个自古以来就是他为什么这样强调？我觉得他就是心虚，所以因为他对西藏的主权是站不住脚，而且在不管国际的形势是怎么变化，我们为西藏的历史正位，用历史文献还原我们曾经的真正的国家地位，是我们应该要做的事情。
드니 백디 제데 아리그디 조초데 자차지스 자나용 드니 아코 배첨보 생도 배드 자나 차시레스 드니 시에거든 자나 도서 시에데야도 나준이 시에데야테로와스 드니 시에데야도 가르스 코 세노 난도요레스 가르스 배드 로지툴 자나 차시 멤버다 코조 다운 요스야데 콘로 메바데스 자나용 시에데 대전 때콜 시에는 코서 쇼지 파차자 등의 제대로 온정 아총 무쇼니 로지 2차 도선 시조zon의 배드 로지 툴 란전 임바다 도소 툴 카운터도 주토야 돼 배드 상자야 수요 말하랑 아소기 미투든 배선 시대 그래서
讲到西藏自古以来属于中国，那这个自古以来中国是怎么去定义？古到什么时候？那西藏是不是真的自古以来属于中国？那中国政府对这个有先后不同的说法。那就是文成公主入藏，西藏属于中国。那这是我们在中国的历史上学到的，而且他的表述方式说，好像文成公主入藏之前，好像西藏就没有什么文化，好像西藏像个野人一样从山洞里面出来了。文成公主进入西藏后，西藏的文明是她带来的。我觉得她的这种认知就是，儒家的那种认知就是华夷之辩，就是他觉得中国才是人，那夷狄是禽兽，他的这种认知。而且中国政府它是迎合了中国传统文化中的这种认知，为他就是占领西藏去这个他的这个谬论去背书，而且中国的这种洗脑教育是影响了一代一代中国人。
저는 제때 자나용 그때 배드 로지톤 차시 지레선 로지도 가세 발레 도서 참아세오 제어 말 고조 마운치 시에당 안담못 가르레선데 자자 공조데 콜 시에그레스 자자 공조 콜때 다 자이로데 놀요레스 가르레선 자이로데 놀 배든고 텐신송 지보요레스 키 가르레 자자 공조 벨 용아레스야다 치 셈본 조야레스야다 아솜바 텐신 지데 티송데 마도 테미치에 마 도서 상하 자마레 도레스 자자 공조 용도 테네 코조 자믹 셰당 때와이나 자자 공조 말레고 배사찰 때 배드 리숑단도 가게 메반다고 자자 공조 렌데 리숑 치야레세데야 도서 용코 자나 용기 오마니 자메릭셰데 자나데 치포코티 리숑 요바 파유 요바 데 임바다 데미기 메리도스 사마지 파유도 가게 마셔 데 타푸놀 데데키 돈로 나이 임바 돈르 리숑 셰데야 소소소 나와 트데야 돈르 따루 레시존네 데니 자자 공조 벨 리숑 타완다오 코좀 데시 자데 거레스
那中国的官方文件里面，它是怎么去定义这个自古以来？那它是从我看那个2021年的中国的西藏白皮书，它是从元朝定义一次，然后在清朝就是满清的时候定义一次，然后在那个中华民国定义一次，然后中国政府上来后，1951年后它就定义一次。那元朝统治西藏，西藏属于中国是它的第二种说法。那蒙古的大元国。他是蒙古人灭掉了契丹的辽啊，西藏的近亲党项人的大夏国，还有彝族跟白族的南诏国，之后灭了汉人的宋国，它是一个合并起来的新国家，而且不只是只有这个宋国，而且蒙古人灭掉宋国之前，中国是那个，所以中国当时灭国了，这是个事实。而且蒙元的大帝国里面，这个蒙元只是个很小的一部分，它有其他的汉国啊，它的国土从中亚到东亚，就它是个非常大的一个国土。而且朱元璋在明初的时候，朱元璋他驱逐了什么？元蒙就是驱逐胡虏，恢复中华时候，他是退回了他原来的蒙古本部，而且对当时的中国的明朝是构成很大的危险。而且之后蒙古的在俄罗斯，他占领俄罗斯的饮茶汗国，他又存了300年。这是个怎么说？他是不是说蒙元只有中国的，它是其他国家一起建立起来的一个新的国家。
tene de jana jong ke tene na ngamo rese on rese yemba chi kare jagur sen na sobo yen jara kaps tene de ped jana chashi rese kashi ji tene manju kaps tene ped jana chashi rese na rese ramna mambo shoji jade yor sonji chidang sobo se de yang ko to jana shen de song jara jes de sobo jara de yen jara rese de ngone chen sobo jara de yen jana ko song jara ko jes mares sobo de yen jara de se ate sobo de chitan ke liao se ate jakat samizang de pe ta nyo yo ba de dong meri yo ba de asha marok de kara munya jakat samitang tene de lolo ta teme paise ate meri de astin jong sa jakat samitang de kan de jana ge song se jakat samitang jakat jo thomba samitang asti sobo de jakat soares de sobo jakat de jami she de song ge song da jakat ba jig jilji thudyo rawo re te tsawani mares de gon de yan se ate jakat jore jana jakat de jo no chi chi pores tenri chen de cheore matu maret mache sobo se jakat tonjo jakat de pet zamlang cheka sa ji baji de zong de se de nang sing sa ja chen bo yo tino ko so jachen rawo jachen jo thomba yo de wa te bet Asia ni yo sha Europa saman ne de yo ba tenru ne dang cha do re jis de jana ge ming jara ge zhuan zhang ka ri xie gu shen ne sobo dang yuan dang sobo de pa bi ne nga zo zhongguo de ya jia su jie gu shen ne de sobo de zhongguo men ba de ha jiu se wo cha de yo re de jiang da da de xie de wa ge da da de jana jong xie de wa ge 파체지 소보데 송 준즈인바 라오라 셰데야 도서 자마 콩로 메바당 데드데 벨데 안주 제메바데 롱 추자 바바당 도서 내당 도서 돈 청용 레와 인바 도서 로지 도서 콩당 순주 등사부 제야 요바等 내당 차들었어
那就是中国对西藏自古以来第3种说法，在满清时候就他说1793年乾隆钦定了所谓的章程29条。那这也是虽然中国就是官方呀就宣传会有不同的说法，但是这是学术界他们最为推广，而且他们写了无数的文章来伪造这个章程29条。那而且他们现在是这个是所谓他们可以拿出来唯一可以证明说，好像西藏在满清时候属于中国这样一个文件，而且这是个假的。那我在2022年的7月份在捷克举行的藏学大会上，我就以这个主题，就是揭穿中国是怎么去制造这样一个文件。
tene jana jong ansumba shadon karer sin chidon dinja guch kosong lote chete jana menju kitene de jabo teng la phap be nang ke tensen yesh ta gusya de chund zon tene resen shede gors mase te jana so kheba so te to resen ramra mambo shu ja gors mambo jan ten tamba ngoyo tene tensen yesh ta gusya de zamazu de wa chires te onjo tata palal jana jong ke pet jana chashi resen reshe ja pipa 대야 요바 2차 때 전세 얘기자 그랬어. 전세 얘기자 그때 인바 인자 대정 제때 마랑 뭐마때 제때 제클 총든 로드 tekola keja shion sons karere sente dense nyek tag sia de zama imba tanto so kan imba to so jek chong so de tekola mise sheyus
那1793年，当时就是满清政府就是拟定了他按照这种西藏之间的公事关系，他拟定了一些条例，然后跟噶夏提出过这些意见。那这些意见在藏文文献里没有，就是满清的一些档案里面，就是满清皇帝跟官员之间的书信里面，就是他有分散性的，就是他说啊要提出这样章程，他自己有提到所以所谓的章程跟分散的文件是两码事，而且不能混谈。那我们看满清的历史档案，它完全没有章程29条这两个名字。那像西藏自己的达赖喇嘛传、班禅喇嘛传，还有当时的多仁奔智达，就是他们里面也完全没有提到章程29条，那也没有说任何一个事情或者政策是按照所谓的章程29条去制定、去颁布、去推行。那西藏的官文里面也没有提到说噶夏政府就是有实施过这样的政策。那这是个中国的雅罕藏为主的中国的他自己的学术界，就是他自己说法说，他们找到了一个，他们说有一个人没有名字找到了这样一个手抄版的藏文，那他没有汉语版，而且这个所谓的藏文他们是没有标题，所以章程29条是中国自己取的名字。而且中国的学者讲了很多，但他们都是一些推测性的，他们也举不出任何说谁是实施这个政策，什么时候实施过，按照什么实施，他们完全没有这样说的。所以这是个中共为了统治西藏合法化，就是捏造出来的、伪造出来的文件。
对，你这个说的感知做的是。对，那么我有那时候讲的，讲那个逻辑，讲那一切，讲那用当两千把了一个当掉逻辑一切都是了，也许结完呢。或者上千毛不写的是滚动了，滚动了对，这上千些别用干下了，上千他妈的等着结果啥，等着结果啥的，上千毛不写的我有那事的，所以上千你这写的，都是第二上千记这些，你们就讲个这上千写的，罗开些记上千记这些，等着一千弄了有的，所以就都说别的日之间的称我早晚你的嘛的，我就讲没写的话，等于你这个写的，等于你这个写。成于我说那个的别的了，安住写的要把等着写的，这个等于别的卡哈热度的是，俺这个逻辑一切对外呢，我呢他了，等于你这个成都是要去找人要嘛的是，滚动在那对外呢，变成了不行，在那对那变得多人变得大声，别个逻辑一切弄一切卡哈乱呢，等于你这个是要等成绩要嘛的，按照嘛，你把等于你这个理解上呢，去电脑去他去啊，当电脑去。搞的时候去乘坐呀，当人走坐呀，当电别去啊，什么的，都是早晚你们提供，别个逻辑头，短线你这个写的有嘛的，那是都短线开始，讲到空嘛当，讲到边波当，滚动当，别用干啥当，怕是给这写的话，都是要入钱的，那或者短线你这个真的成一般的哦，成一般，但那别的忘记写的人呢，都是他们讲到用怎么做呢，等等的，都说钱中文话去这些。我那次都等着成绩要嘛的是，成绩嘛的是的。
那中国政府所谓西藏自古以来属于中国的第4种说辞，就是清朝灭亡后，他的中国的民族主义者他打出了驱逐满清，就是驱逐大陆去恢复中华，那他们建立了属于汉人的国家。那我觉得这是个脱离殖民者，是个每个人高兴事情、赞扬事情。但是他驱逐满清恢复中华后，他打出的武昌起义后的18起，也是只有他中国本部。那但是后来他们为了延续所谓的满清的一个国土，就制造了五族共和，还有后来的中华民族伪概念，然后还要去同化周边民族。那当时西藏是达赖喇嘛从印度回来后，我们就是说要跟满清脱离这种公事关系，然后因为他要侵略西藏要脱离公事关系，然后要继续保持我们原来的独立的这种自主的地位。然后我们还跟蒙古签订了这个蒙藏条约，就是你看这个文件就是互相承认一个独立国家地位，而且里面用的都是攘dân这样字，我们攘dân就是独立，就是我们而且是后来西姆拉条约也是不断的跟中国切割。那在没有任何 资料说，当时中华民国发布过任何声明说我们否定这样一个东西，中华民国是没有的。而且现在的话，就是我觉得非常诡异的一件事情是，台湾的中华民国宪法里面还说西藏跟就是内蒙古是属于中国，就是中华民国的国土。那我觉得这是个非常诡异的事情。我不知道将来就是自由民主的台湾什么时候会改变这样一个局面。那我觉得我们应该拭目以待。
等你按什么讲呢？用写当干的是别的讲那确实的是的满句，没把做是讲那每个人路把可是他妈干的写个是满句嘛背呢，讲那加速接近是写的是，这当得起来的无形上把的搞过来干的是呢，咱们的满句没是背了呢，说说让真做的的来东讲，得都讲那个可是加大的干的都是呢，干嘛纠结进去，等这个加大学，干嘛纠结干的讲那可是。जमी रंग के दिंगा दे जोजे शिंशिं जोजे तेल को दे और ओंजो ते जिस ने खोजो होते मेरी गाते चिट्ठी जखप से ने मेरी ये बात समाते जानम मेरी नॉन छू दियो रे से नंदा मदा शे तो सो चेंदे ने पेता ते पालल मांटू मांबो शू चोरेस पेट मांटू मांबो चोरा ताते ते कुंदे जेते जागान से पेता ने अंदंबो ते मंजू ताते पालल छोयong जवा ते छम छियारे छोयong जवा में सेवा त न्यां ते ने बेग सोसो रांसिंग ते नेबा ते शुचर ताए जे तो सोबो न्यां ते बेसुक ते छिं ते जायो रे बेसु छिं जाने फेंस पाला रांसिंग जाखा इम्बा ता ते तो पे नोल ते रांसिंग से थाने ते बे माबो शु बेजो तायो रे ते जिस ते ने ओ इंजि ता न्यां सिमला छिं जायो रे तो सो तो ने जाना ता ओमा ते छोयong जवा तो ने फेंस पाला जवा ते जे ने छिं माबो या रे तेने तीनों लिए तो ऐसे ही चेक हुआ चला पेना पेपा तो सोपो ने पैसों की चाहिए ज़्यादा जाना मिसी जाकर कोई जों के तेल मूली में से ना तेरे कैसा चावा नहीं जों यो मारे तेरे नाजिंग ते जाना मिसी जाकर से ते कॉमिंदांग ते जों ते के पहले आंजी चेंज यो मारे कोई ते आंजी जैसा ते कर रहे हैं ना पहले शाशु दोमे ता खाम साचा खासी चेयर तेरे ताता रशिया ते उकलांग साचा माँ जावा नहीं को माँ जाने जोंवारे माँ तो लुथन ठंठन 당고에 내서 텀바 던데 진디 소소 나콘 차 되었대 말에 대종 베데 로지톨 자나 차히레 세 되었다 베데 베란존이 집보레 세 되었다 소소당 내 고적 자체 노트 소소 사마테 고적 소소소 차 되었 내스레 마동고에 내서 말에 대나지 다다 태양 자체 나라요 베당 치수 도소 사마테 자나 차히 스튜디오레스 때 양세레스 만족 롬바치로 언제 다데 땡땡 요아진 로그레 상두스
那最后一个就是1951年后，就是签订了所谓的17条协议，然后和平解放了西藏。那我们可以从中国自己内部的资料里面看到，然后毛泽东是得到斯大林的支持去出兵西藏。那当时中共内部的对认知就是出兵西藏就是占领。然后我们看西藏自治区成立30周年的他自己内部出版的，他用的词汇都是占领，而不是后来的所谓的解放。然后还有那个八宝瓶座王姐，我就不细说了，没时间。然后他是当时签署17条协议时候，代表中国方就做翻译，他在这个签订时候起到了很重要的地位。他就后来出了一本书，就讲当时就有强迫性是不正当的。那他就是作证，虽然他在中国当了大官，还是最后还是有这样讲是强迫性的。所以17条协议就是在昌都战败后，就强权者对弱者的一个霸凌，而且是强迫藏人签下的。如果说西藏是中华民国的国土的话，那他为什么后来要单独跟西藏签订这样的协议？然后我最后总结就是，西藏历史上从来没有属于过中国，现在它在中国政府的控制下，它是被占领的国家，而且中国政府对西藏的这种政策是民族同化、种族屠杀政策，对。
他们的都需要因斯卡尔森的，都是往起。근데 아니 맞다 자나게 시대한테 로지톨 자나 차시를 시대한테 고 당하장 시대로 언제 다당 내당간 시대로 마도 대대 자나 마슈서바 마우츠동다 고조 벨 왕지체 벨마 자도 대도 고 베데 자나 차시를 라요 마르스 베데 근데 지시대와 진로선다 도서 타니테 베조당 타니테 가르 베데 종고스네 종고세도 의 사샤 멤버라 사샤 장왕 강스 종야 티타니 랑 장장 베조 땅으로 마도 진로세야 땅 로지톨 자나 차시레세야티 전송 지야 될 진신세데 또 타마 잠이 제니 수디어 마도 갑테도 네스 마사 마레스 대나기 테놀 바 폰송 안제테 Pepper Kashi Koti Jagara say, Tensi Judin Yan, no pattern around Koranga shares. Tensi Judin Jaya, Tepet, Zembo, Imbatan, Jinsen down, Nest on Gedeva, Tenuk Nest Race and Cotenol, Pet Seotur, Tejonko, Jana Pembo, Jana Tenchiava, Donjo, Korang Tinol, Seo Share race. Tejon, the Karasorosi, Tensi Judin Jaya, the Toso Tula, Chaton Shia me, Kondarko, Tendamo to check on Shia me, don't do the share in a Kasi, Pete, Jana Missy Jaka Chashi, Jana Jung, and the Pet and Miss Tensi Judin say Yago Yomaris. Pete Missy Jaka Chashi me by the Janak Pelo on Giate, then it sends around it. Tejon Tata Jana Youngtani, Pete Jana Chin the Juat, Pete, Peg Chut and Region the Janal. Tonga Miriti, Chul Juku said that Carrier paid logical Koso Chashi member is out. Tata Koso Chut and Rishon the Toso Samatone, Mirit Sami Zone, Peyu the Jail Juyak, Suji, Lanichi, the Toso Samatone, logical paid Jana Chashi member, till Rachu Sevos Chad your racing shield.
Thank you very much for Pentola, your great. Today, the third section, we have first speaker, Pentola Hasjan, and on behalf of Tibetan Policy Institution, I would like to say thank you so much, the director, your great contribution for this section. And the next speaker, we have Thundu Wangmula. I will little bit highlight on her. Her major subject, science and geology. Wangmula has focused the impacts on the minor Tibet and increased climate change issue inside Tibet, which is a very important topic. Not only Tibet climate issue is a global issue. So she attended COP27 in Egypt, and she published and attended international and national conferences so far. So please join me and give a warm welcome to Wangmula for her speech about the Tibetan minor inside the problem.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me, right? Today's presentation, the title I chose is on China's double standard in clean energy policies and lithium mining in Tibet. So actually, I was supposed to speak in Tibetan, but anyways, I will speak in English. So I chose this topic because I think this symposium, the title of the symposium, International Symposium on the Finding Common Ground, I find the topic that I chose is much relevant to this symposium. So in my presentation, the title China's Double Standard in Clean Energy Policies and Lithium Mining in Tibet, which I will basically focus on why I call China a double standard, and secondly, how the clean energy technology, or you can say the renewable energy, is related to the lithium mining and to the extension of the lithium, not just in China, as a globally, how these two are related. And third, I want to focus on why the China has claimed the world that they are doing something for the environment, and they are doing best to compare the climate change, but then what is happening on ground reality in Tibet. So before I start my presentation, I would like to give introduction what is the definition of the renewable energy. So most of you have known what is renewable energy, but then to a little bit explain. According to the United Nations, renewable energy is energy that has been derived from the natural sources, whether it is wind, solar, whether it is solar, wind, and any other natural resources that has a less impact on environment. Basically, the renewable energy is energy that that can be replenished, or that can be resourced, not resource, that can be restored. So this energy is is considered as the alternative solution to the energy that is derived from the fossil fuel. So now coming to the fossil fuel, which is considered as the non-renewable energy sources. So what is why the fossil fuel is considered as the non-renewable energy sources? So fossil fuel basically produce the harmful greenhouse gases, whether it is about the emission of the carbon, whether it is about the emission of the any other greenhouse gases, methane and CO2. So these greenhouse gases cause these greenhouse gases are the primary sources that warm the global, that we live in. So that is why the fossil fuel has been, considered as the most damaging to the world. And third, transition from the fossil fuel to the renewable energy sources is right now the most, the issue, or the topic that has been, carried in most of the COP. And there are many renewable energy sources: solar energy, wind energy, and hydropower as well. But then the topic that I have chose is related to the lithium. So lithium is basically used in a electric vehicle for the protection of the battery. So my topic is related to the lithium mining and clean energy. Now going to the second the slide, I would like to tell a bit about what actually is the climate change. Climate change is not just the concern, or not just the issue of the one country. Climate change is the issue of the this whole country, that we share the one earth. And what actually is the climate change? Is climate change refer to the long-term shift in the temperature and weather patterns. And since the 1800, human activities has been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuel like the coal, oil, and gas. So this slide shows that the climate change right now that we are dealing with is not natural or man-made. Rather than that, the climate change or the global warming that we are facing today is caused by the human factor, whether it comes from the transportation or whether it comes from the any other activities to develop the one country's economy. For example, the deforestation or any other activities. So the climate change right now, the term that we are using is called the anthropogenic or Anthropocene, which means that the whatever happening in this world is related to the climate issue is caused by human, and it's not like natural, it's not happening naturally. It's basically caused by the human. And and scientists and many of the scientists and the researchers have said that this has been caused by the human, right? So I find this quite important. What is the Paris Agreement? So I have mentioned before, the climate change is a global emergency, right? That goes beyond national borders. And it is an issue that requires international cooperation and coordinated solution at all levels. What is the Paris Agreement? The Paris Agreement is a legally binding international treaty on climate change. It was adopted by 196 parties at the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP21 in Paris, France on 12 December 2015. It entered into the force on 4th November 2016. So what Paris Agreement is trying to do is that it is basically a goal that is to hold the increase in the global average temperature to well below the 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level, and to pursue the effort to limit the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level. So that is the goal that all the other countries beyond the national border had cooperated to achieve. So these are the 3 important things that is related to the Paris Agreement. So I will leave that. Now coming to the next slide. Now there's a difference between what the general audience, general public say, and what the one country's president say, right? So in 2020, the President Xi Jinping, in his address to the general debate of the United Nations General Assembly 76 session, he have announced that China will strive to peak the carbon dioxide emission before 2030 and achieve a carbon neutrality before 2060. So he have spoken a lot on the COVID-19 pandemic as well, but then since my topic is not related to the COVID-19 pandemic, I will focus on the my topic. So the Xi Jinping has highlighted the need to accelerate the transition to the green and low carbon economy while achieving the green recovery and development. And the statement he have given on the 76th session of the General Assembly has become very popular, not just in China, in like many other countries, because his statement has made that any other countries has started to believe that China is now doing something for the climate change, and they are trying to protect the earth. Basically, China is the one of the potential emitter of the greenhouse gases, but they are also trying to show that they are doing something for the and protection of this earth. So he also added that China would increase support for the other developing countries in developing green and low carbon energy, and not to build a new coal-fired power project abroad. So this slide focused that after his statement, the other countries has been looking positively to China, and secondly, he have focused terms like green, and he have also focused on terms like low carbon economy. Not just that, he have also used the term clean energy, which basically try to means that these the way he have chose, the path he have chose to compare the climate change is not harming the environment, and is basically trying to protect the environment. So now I will tell the contradiction of that in my now coming to the next slide. Now coming to the lithium, which is the green energy metal in the 21st century. So why do I call the why do I've taken the lithium and not copper and cobalt and manganese, right? Because lithium is the called the green energy metal because it is used extensively in the electric vehicle. There is not just a sale in China, in all over the world. And lithium is one of the green energy sources, and that is also known or taking an alternative solution to the fossil fuel. So in these two graphs, you can see that I have just in the first slide. No. In the first, the blue slide, I have just shared the difference between the 2010 to 2023, how the as a globally mine protection is increasing. If you can see from 2010 to I think 2016, there is not much change in the lithium protection. There's a changes, but there's a very little slight changes in increasement of the lithium protection. But then if you go to the 2017 to 2021, I think even there's a graph that is slight, up and down. There's a slight difference, but then it's all up and down. But after 2021, 2022, and 2023, you can see that there's a clear, the slide shows that there's a clear, increase in the mine production. The graph you can see, all the graph are, in a horizontal line that shows that, the mine production has, there's a very much variable in the increase of the mine production. Now into the second slide, you can see that how the global electric car stock are trending between the 2010 to 2023. If you can see, the red one is showing how the Chinese, China's electric vehicles are in a stock trend, and after that there's a blue color which shows the car stock sale of the United States. And after that, there's a slight blue. I think there's a difference in royal blue and the sky blue. The royal blue one is for the United States, and the sky blue is for the for the United States PHEV. And these show that the stock market, global electric car stock market trend, if you can see, it is like most happening in the China. The red one shows the China. And coming to the next slide, the first one is basically I have divided this slide into three types. The first one, this shows the upstream of the mining. Upstream basically means that how the mine is extracted and how the mining is happening and how the extension and digging of the minerals are happening. That is called the upstream. If you know the system of the mining, and I will also tell this that China is currently the leading producer and the consumer of the lithium, and China is very nearly to monopolize the lithium supply chain because they already dominate the electric vehicle. Not just in the China, they also they have a huge investment abroad and overseas. And third, the top of the world's top global companies such as the who are producing a lot of the electric vehicles is also Chinese based, which is the CATL, right? So next slide, I will show that how the China is projected to have the this in the near future, how the demand for the electric vehicle how the demand for the electric vehicle will grow. Now, if you can see this graph, the blue one is for the United States, next for the China, and next for the Japan, and then the Europe, and then India. And you can see the graph, right? It's the 2024, and once they have forecasted the demand, right? Once, if you can see the 2035 and 2040, you can see the the demand will be almost the triple. The demand will be far more in China. And next one is also how the battery cell manufacture is happening in any other country. If you can see the slide, the red one is almost 76% is happening in China, and the rest of the world is they share a very little percentage because the China is dominating this making. And you can see the other slide as well, which is called the midstream. Basically, upstream is the lithium production, and midstream to process the metal, process the ores, and process the raw material is called the midstream. And now you can see the China share the 42%, 65%, 65%, and 43%. And if you compare this to the rest of the country, whether it's Japan, Korea, United States, these countries show a very less percentage. And this is also the now I will tell this. So now you have, I think you have got a clear knowledge that China is currently dominating the electric vehicle and lithium processing and these critical minerals. Now what I wanted to say is that my argument over here is that I have divided this in a three point. First point is that because of this so-called the renewable energy China claimed to the world, currently in Tibet, the China is trying to find a new resources. China is trying to find a new minerals to secure their supply chain and to stabilize their supply chain. One example, if I have to give, in January 2024, nearly 1 million tons of the lithium resources were recently discovered in Nyakcho, which is situated in the eastern part of the Kham. And that is the one of the going to be one of the big lithium discoveries in Asia. So the first example shows that China is trying to find a new discoveries, and China is very much a rush to find the lithium. That now they are trying to find a new mining in Tibet. And second is that they are increasing the stake, and they are acquiring the more investment, not just in Tibet, in any other countries as well. But then this is the one example. In 2022 they are going to, and this is also related to brine. Mining basically comes from the spodumene and the brine, and China is now trying to use the Tibet Salt Lake, which is very much rich in the resource minerals, especially lithium carbonate. So they are trying to use that to secure their demand for the EV. And third, the Jijiga lithium deposit, I'm going to finish in 2 minutes. The Jijiga lithium deposit, that is also one of the China's largest, most important sources of lithium. So these third statement show that first they are going to find a new resources, right? And second, now they are trying to jump from the rock mining to the brine mining. And third, they are going to expand the old one, which one is already existed. They are going to expand the already existing one. Not just lithium, the copper also, they have extended many copper mines there is in Tibet. And this is the risks in future. I have related these two things. So many of the countries now, United States and Europe, and also the country is trying to the country is trying to now rely less on the Chinese import. So if they will focus on that, then China have to secure their supply chains. And there's only one way to secure their supply chain, that is to they have to increase the exploitation of mining inside Tibet. And all of the audience here, I think, know that how much harmful increasement or the acceleration of the mining in Tibet have impactful to the environment and also to the local communities. If you see the past record of the how China mining is happening, not just in Tibet, even the Siberia also have complained to China that they are not doing the mining in the correct way. They are harming the environment. So in a one way, my argument over here is that I will conclude with that, right? The one way that China is trying to say that they are all doing this renewable energy electric vehicle is for the protection of environment and to reduce the carbon emission, is for the to preserve the environment, is for the protection of the global, right? On the second hand, the Tibet environment is getting threatened. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your very great and very resourceful and I think a very productive what she showed us. And my 5 minutes is already gone.